Hello and welcome to my stream. Hopefully this is all working. I'm not seeing my subtitles. Why am I not seeing? There we go. I had it minimized. No, they're still not. There we go. Showing up now. Uh, so yeah, welcome back. Anybody who's returning, welcome if you're new to the stream. Not that there's anybody here. I'm quite literally talking to myself for the moment. However, I'm not going to let that disturb me one little bit. I'm always talking to myself. So, I am going to play something with a little more depth at some point other than roguelike games. But the last couple of streams have been about Banner of Ruin, which is a good game, and it's a roguelike card building, deck building card game. And all the way through it, it was reminding of Monster Train. And so I went back to it the other day, and it was like, no, this is really good. I am really enjoying this. And they're a lot shorter runs than Ban of Ruin, or I feel that they're shorter. That could just be the illusion of time disappearing far too quickly. So I figured I'd give it a couple of hours dedicated to Monster Train, and let you all know what it's roughly about if you've not seen it, played it, whatever. One of the things that I did also do is rather than just start from where I left off, I did the insane thing of deleting all my user data and starting in afresh. The moment I clicked the OK button, the bottom fell out of my stomach because it's like I've dedicated hours to this. But at the same time, I will enjoy the challenge all over again. I know how it roughly plays out, so hopefully it won't be too much of a challenge for me to get back to where I was. And also, I like to do this Twitch stream from the start because one of the things you sometimes see going into these things is some Twitch streamer who's been playing it for hours, unlocked everything, and their runs are going to be fairly smooth. Simply because they, have access to everything that they might need. Whereas I'm going to be running it from the start, and so I'll probably fail a couple of times. Going to admit that, but at the same token, at least then you, the viewer, gets to see it and gets to know that everybody fails a couple of times before moving on to the victories and it getting slightly easier. Monster Train, I feel, is a little bit different. In that, first of all, you're on a train with the last shard of hell stored upon it. Hell has been taken over by angels and frozen. And you've got to get this last shard to the inner circle of hell so that you can warm the place back up again. So you just click standard start run and start. And on this screen, you get to choose your primary clan and your allied clan. This dictates which hero is going to be used, and this dictates some of the extra cards that you will have access to once you get to make options. It also dictates what's going to be in your starting deck. When you first start off the game, you just have access to the Hellhound and the Awoken. You can switch it around and play with the primary clan as the Awoken and the secondary as the Hellhound, but when you very first start it up, you actually get a tutorial which forces you into the Hellhound and the Awoken. I've skipped that for now simply because, it's a lot of clicking around, me not reading screens, and nobody particularly wants to see that. You can even set it on random, so if you don't know what you'll end up with, it's going to be a little bit predictive. It's going to be one of that to begin with, and naturally it's going to be the other. But when you've got all 5 clans unlocked, then it can make it a little bit more unpredictable. Win a run to unlock this feature. I'm not entirely sure what those two are about. Win a run to unlock this feature. Win a run at Covent rank 25 to unlock this feature. Okay, we might get into more of that later on, depending on how these runs go. So when you're ready, you click depart. You get a bit of a loading screen. Bit boring. And straight off, it tells you what your end boss is going to be. Which is kind of nice. Does ruin the surprise a little bit, but then again, it allows you to plan for these things. For example, the Great Traitor will devour your spells. You better hope to bring more of them if you want to succeed. So the first card played each turn gets consumed. Consumed means that it goes to your consumed deck, and you're not allowed to bring them back out of there unless you've got a card that overrides that. And so if you're playing a lot of spells right at the start, it gets a little bit more tricky towards the end. First part is, like many roguelites, this is a bit of setup. You get an artifact. Magic power increases spells, and they're most, not all, it doesn't increase stacks, and merchant cost reduced by 25%. I'm going to go with the merchant cost because buying upgrades is really useful in this game, but we'll get onto that more when we come across any of the merchants and the upgrades. And the Dark Forge. This allows you to upgrade your champion. Now there are 3 different champion builds, but you only ever get a choice of 2 per run, and each one has a different ability. It's usually in theme with the hero that you're playing. This guy, for example, he's got Slay and Revenge. He gets 10 armor whenever he slays somebody, and if he gets hit, he gets Rage 2. This guy, he's all about, gets a little bit of armor to begin with, but he also has multi-strike, which means that he attacks more times per round. The combination of the two is actually possible as well, and you get to upgrade your hero a couple of times, and you can mix and match, or you can focus down. I'm going to go with this Slay Revenge one, simply because I've had more luck with it than the armor one, and like I say, I've just started off. You can't see up over here, there's a bunch of buttons, the menu options basically, and what circle of hell you're on, the current game speed, and I don't know what that button does. Oh, it gives you a map. Very nice. Let's skip over that. Over here we can see the Pyre Heart, which is the fragment of hell. How much money you've got, the cards in your deck. Now, what I was saying earlier about which factions you start with, if you go for the Awoken, then you've got Restore, a 5 Restore card. If you go with the Hellhound, you get 5 Torches in your deck. Other factions, other cards. You also get 4 Trained Stewards and your hero. With the choices made, let us move out of Limbo. This wasteland has always been a desolate crossing into hell. It serves as a buffer, the first ring of hell, and the only separation from heaven. The ice only turned an endless desert into an endless tundra. So you move on to the fight. Basically, it's fight, then area to explore. I say explore. You do all the events there, and then you move on to the next fight. It's also reminding me now that I can undertake trials. Trials allow you to make it slightly more difficult by giving them the benefit of this. Enemy units enter combat with 10 armor, and you get a bonus out of it. You get to draft a unit from your allied or primary clan. And these are totally optional. You don't have to do them. Because I'm just starting out, I'm just going to turn that off for now, and I also don't like the idea that everybody's got 10 armor. Now, the train itself is what you're defending, and this here is the last shard of the pyre. When enemies reach this room, the trade blows until one is defeated. If that gets defeated, it's the end of your run. And then you've got 3 levels. I tend to focus on defending the bottom level of a train rather than the top level because it affects your score where the boss of the combat gets defeated. But at the same token, there's some builds that rely better on being just underneath the pyre, and some that rely on the middle rank. These are my cards. Here it says how much ember it costs, how much life a trained steward has, how much damage they're going to do. And it gives you a little bit of artwork. When it's a spell, it just tells you how much it's going to cost and what the effects are going to be. So your hero always costs nothing. Oh, at the top of creature cards, you only get to play out creature cards once. If they die, then they're gone for this run, unless they have some modifier that stops that. Um, this is not a great thing because I just realized everybody's come into this train with Rage 2 and they're just going to straight up kill my hero, and it's kind of important that he out of everybody survives. So I'm just going to put the train steward in front of him. He'll die, he won't, and he'll also get the slay ability, but none of the revenge. But the slay should help for the next time round. And then I'm just going to put another train steward on each level. Those pips next to the name and at the top of the cards, can I do this? Yes, at the top of the cards, show you how many spaces it's going to take up, and each level only has so many spaces available. That becomes more important when you've got more cards, simply because if you want to play a big creatures, then you're going to have to figure out a way of either making it one big creature per level, or you're going to have to figure out ways of expanding your train. You do get options to do that naturally as the game progresses, but I tend not to favor that route. Everything's played out, so I'll click end. Not entirely sure why he died. Oh, yes, that's right. The collector occasionally turns up on death. You gain 50 coins. Is a bit of a freebie. Sometimes if you're distracted across multiple layers, you just have to get rid of them with a torch. Later runs he has more health, so that's a little more difficult to do. But this early on in the game, I can just let the train steward deal with it. This train steward's also going to die, which vexes me somewhat. Because he's not going to have a chance to kill anybody. It always goes the heroes, the good guys, whatever you want to call them, first, and then yours, unless you again have modifiers which allow that to change. They're going to actually take out that guy, which is not favorable for my run. So I've just healed him up a little and burnt away one of them. It's going to take some degree of damage, but at least he's going to get powered up because he's taking out the first guy in the run. Everybody else is going to die. So let's see how this goes. So yeah, did the damage. I get the money, and we continue going down the train. Brief respite basically means soon the boss is going to come out, and when the boss comes out, it's pretty much a fight to the death. I'm probably just going to leave these guys to take some health off the last shard. It's not great, but at the same token, it's got 80 hit points. They're not doing too much damage. It'll survive. Oh, we have somebody in the chat. Hello, Tartare2240. How's it going? So yeah, before the boss kicks off, you can actually see here that each who is going to die and how much damage is going to take place. I'm just going to actually stack him down. It's a little bit pointless because we can see here that the boss has a crossover him, and so will die as soon as I hit end turn. The game is mainly focused on giving you information, you making the better choices, and it doesn't shy away and make you do all the calculations yourself, especially since though in some cases when you've got two beasts of an enemy and a hero, it can go on for several rounds of back and forth, and nobody wants to do that math. I'm good, Tartar. How did you find me out of interest, or am I just a random selection that's come up for yourself? Yeah, I've just started a run on Monster Train. I'm mainly going to be going through what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and telling you my thought process as I play. Feel free to ask any questions. And we'll see how this goes. Every time you win, it tells you what your score was. You lose points for if your pyre gets hit at all. You gain points by depending on how far down the train the boss was defeated, which again goes back to why I prefer to mainly focus on the bottom row. I get 30% more points. Then come the spoils, usually 50 coins, but then also you get to the packs of cards depending on your clan and your allies' clan. You always get a choice of 3 out of the cards that you've unlocked. Again, because I've just started, there isn't much unlocked, so these are probably going to be fairly limited. Rage is great because it increases damage, but it's better if you can have some way of building that up, which I do with my hero, but the cost being 3 is rather expensive. The Pyre Chomper, when I summon him, I gain 4 Ember, which is great, but I don't really have too many cards. And deals 2 times the amount of Ember I spend, which is all the remaining Ember that you have. It prevents some of the information about the game. I can try and lower it a little. I mean, it doesn't cover up too much, I didn't think. Oops, that's not the subtitles. There we go. So yeah, as I was saying earlier, I've moved down the subtitles because somebody's asked, but there it tells you which is your primal clan, your allied clan, what levels they're on, your convent level, and which boss it is. Yep, you're quite right. So you're experienced at this game, I can tell, because I didn't know that it'd be the convent level up there as well. As I mentioned earlier in the stream, although yeah, you're the first person here, so I was talking to nobody. I've actually restarted this so that people can see it from how it first looks when you open up the game, rather than being sort of like, "Here, look at me! I've got all the things opened." As soon as I hit the restart button, I regretted life choices, but I'm gonna power on through and hopefully enjoy doing all them things all over again. Going to take the vent for now. Oh, you can also skip choosing a card, which nets you 10 more gold. Seeing as I have merchant cost reduction, that's not going to be too big of a thing. I'm going to go with the Sting, simply because it's a bit of a freebie. And so now we're on to the exploration stage. You get to choose either left track or right track, and it locks you into which choices you're going to make. Again, you can see all the information as it is presented. I'm probably going to stick with the Hellhound and go to the Merchant of Magic. And as this is the first shop, what we can see here is you've got options to purge your cards, re-roll the selection of goods. They both cost money, and 3 options that you can take. Emberstone reduces the cost, pretty much says it all there. It increases but has consume, removes consume but increases the cost. If I could get all 3 of these on one card, it would be great. It would just essentially increase the power cost by 20. But each card only has 2 option slots. I'm going to choose this one and put it on one of the cards simply because it really does increase the cost. It doesn't, sorry, it increases the power of it. Where do I want to put it? I think I'll put it on the torch just as a, ooh, actually will it? Oh no, that plus is 20. But at the same token, I could use that right at the end. And then reduce the cost. This is just a bit of a freebie. I'm mainly taking it because it's one of the places that you can spend money. And would that actually, should I? -1. Could be good for late game, I suppose. Once you're done, you leave, and then you can choose. Abandon. These tend to be allies rather than other words. Spell cards. Not many things. Yeah, I've only really dabbled with the convent stuff. It just started getting so difficult. I was no longer enjoying it. I think I managed about rank 6 before I decided to restart my data this time. I do occasionally dabble around with it and hope to get it up to 25, but it's one of them games where you can pick it up, play it for a while, and then not have to play it again. And because it's short, simple runs, you don't have to worry about, what was I doing? These two cards are very simple. This guy is big and has a lot of damage and health. This guy, not so big, not a lot of health. Gonna go with the Demon Fiend, although most of the time I won't be able to afford him because I only ever get 3 Ember. But that'll change. Just gonna start the fight. Betrayal is not worth the difficulty at this stage. Let's see. Let's put him down there. I'm starting to regret not taking that imp that I got offered earlier. Let's play that one out because you might as well always play that out. And restore health because it gives him a regen one. That's as much as I can do this time. So he doesn't actually attack, so that's not too big of a concern. He's got 10 more, so if I put 2 trained stewards up here, they'll be able to take that. He'll go up a level and be able to take out the rest of them. Don't really want to... Oh yeah, I could do that, I suppose, and see what happens. Lots of damage, and everybody died. Great stuff. Guy does a little bit of damage, but because I slay him, I get 10 armor, so it's well worth that damage. I'm again up to the brief respite. Yeah, let's just power on the restore for this guy, and do that, why not? So yeah, earlier I was comparing this with Banners of Ruin. This tends to be a lot more fast-paced, where Banners of Ruin is a lot more slow and deliberate, and you've got to make all the calculations yourself. I don't mind doing the calculations, but at the same token, it's one of them where it's like, I've had a long day. I don't want to be dealing with this. Just killed off that bad guy and some of the other guy at the back. That's now got him as a cross, so might as well just hit end turn and it'll finish it off for me. And I win yet another fight. But yeah, I do like the deck building card-based games, simply because it's like it adds that element of randomness that it's enough that it lets you feel like you're in control, but without too much to make it stagnant and stale and being completely predictable. There's probably some game out there which is card-based, although I can't think of too many off the top of my head. I know that there's some games out there that are 100% predictable. Into the Breach did that, and it's more of a puzzle game than it is a strategy game per se. Because it has a feel of a strategy game, but because everything is laid out and happens exactly the same every time, there's very few times once you've beaten it once. I'm gonna take this welder simply to give my guy some more armor, and I'll take the steel enhancer. But yeah, roguelike games I like because of their randomness. Now I have a choice of another magic shop. The Hellborn. I'm going to go with the Awoken and another artifact because I don't really fancy going to the magic shop again. I've not got too many cards that'll need improvement, and when it's in the middle there, it basically means it doesn't matter which side you're going to, you'll always go there. Choose an artifact. When you play your third card, draw a card. Maybe at the beginning, summon 4 random units from your deck to the middle floor. I don't like that to a certain degree. It's great if you've got a deck with, hey, Murder Sauce, a lot of different summons in there. Because once you get those out on the middle floor, it's a very cheap way of taking care of most things. But when you've only got, what do I have to summon at the moment? I do actually have that guy who I can't afford to summon. But I've got that guy, 4 train stewards, and a welder helper. And so 4 out of the 6 of them are just going to go straight to the second floor, and I'm not going to have many choices. But like I say, I can't actually afford this guy most of the time, and getting him out will be a bit of a boon. I think I might actually take it, because at the same token, play 3 and then draw another card. If I can't afford that another card, then that one's going to be useless as well. It's just going to burn through potentially useful cards in my deck. So let's go for that. What's the worst that could happen? I fail miserably and have to start again, which is kind of what roguelikes are doing. So he has Revenge, gain Ember, which is the essential mana in this, or this guy, when summoned, every time he rejuvenates, he gains 2 spikes. Spikes, as per many games out there, essentially means if he gets hit, whoever hit him takes some damage. And because it's stacking, it doesn't decrease like some of the other buffs, but it stacks every time he rejuvenates, so he's potentially got a lot of spikes in him. And I am playing with the Awoken deck. I wouldn't be able to choose him otherwise. The Concealed Caverns, it's a bit of a mystery what's going to happen here. It's a make choices kind of thing. Usually pretty good. Your train essentially pulls up by an event and you get to make choices. The cave of 1,000 dimes seems to awaken as you grow near. From the deep within, a voice emerges. Relinquish your life or your wealth, and you may be rewarded if you are deemed worthy. You don't make offerings to unknown beasts, but you consider making an exception for this cave. Do you toss it into tribute? I contribute life, which comes off the ember, or I can give wealth. I'm going to go for the wealth because I have money and a reduction in some shops. A loud belch emerges from the shadowy depths. Your tribute disappears into the darkness, but no recognition of your worth follows. Your worth has yet to be determined. Only further tribute will slay us further. Do you make another offering? I will make another offering. A loud belch emerges from shadowy depths. You continue, your tribute disappears into darkness, but no recognition follows. We continue to question your worth. Only further tribute will slay us further. This is RNGesus screwing me over a little bit, but we're up to a 50% chance, so throw more money at it. Oh God, they really are. RNGesus does not like me. You still leave us unsure. Only further tribute will slay us further. This is a terrible thing. That's 100 gold coins in there, but 75% chance. Ooh, I got a thing. Advanced Prototype. Stewards gain +5 damage, +5 health, damage shield 2, and multi-strike 1. That is nice when you've only really got stewards in your deck. A loud belch emerges from the shadowy depths. You've been deemed worthy. And time for me to depart before the cave takes any more money off me. Now that that's over and done with, time to go to the next guy. That artifact is really going to make these train stewards a lot better. Before they were 5/8s. Now they're 10/13s with multi-strike, so they'll do that twice. We've got 2 damage shields, so the first time that they're attacked, the first 2 times that they're attacked, it will just completely negate it, and that applies to all 4 of them, and they're still just as cheap as ever. So this guy is one of the first bosses. You don't get to choose whether or not you accept this guy's trial or not. It will always just happen. Constructed explosives enter with damage shield. That is not pretty. the explosives he will randomly summon up and down the train as he moves about, and they all have damage shield on them. But if I don't take care of them, he will despawn and blow up for 10 points of damage. I don't have 2 damaging cards, so I can't take care of that. This guy does have 20 shield though, and I'm going to rejuvenate to get that spikes up a little. As always, I put my guy there, and I do 2 damage to the guy at the back to prevent healing. It exploded, did that, but now he's going to get a little bit of pain. There are achievements for taking care of these guys before it actually gets to the bosses round. Otherwise, it just makes it easier for when you get to the bosses round. In some cases, they're fairly reasonable. In some cases, it's an absolute bit of a nightmare. Okay, so we have a bit of a problem here in that this guy is not going to survive. I got 3 ember left. I kind of want to regenerate him, so I'm going to throw him in front. Yeah, that keeps him alive. And then regenerate that guy, so we get more spikes. And we're going to shoot the guy with a crossbow and see if... Oh, that means he doesn't take any damage. Well, why is that? I'm not entirely sure. Oh, because he had 2 damage shield, yes. That was it. So that's kind of useful. Now, because that's on the top row, I'm just going to completely ignore it. Let's stack some regen on that guy. And a little more on that guy. This guy is going to keep pumping himself up with armor, which hopefully will do him good when Daedalus eventually comes out to play. There's no point in doing it much more. So let's move on. But yeah, one of the things I like about Monster Train very much is the fact that you've got this main faction and your allied faction. Because there's 5 of them, that gives you 20 different combinations of starting decks and who the hero is going to be and who is going to be supplementing them. Meaning that it can really do a lot. There's a lot more variance in there than you see in some games. I just did that because I wanted to get rid of them all. Might have been a bad idea, who knows. Yeah, he's down to 158 health out of 250, so that's probably not going to be too bad. Slightly worried that I can get more armor out of that one. Let's enhance him a bit. Let us restore on that guy. Shall I? I'm going to start healing up the hero. Okay, final wave. This means that everything bad is going to happen if he's going to do... Well, let's just buff him up and see what happens. I think they got that number up a little. Burn him out a bit. It's not going to be enough to take care of him. They're going to take care of that row. And these two are going to duke it out. He shouldn't make it past the next level up. I will also get one last turn to throw out some cards and maybe swing it around if he would survive. But I really don't think he will. Not with 9 hit points left. But just to be sure, let's restore this guy up a little bit more. And he's probably going to kill himself striking the guy with spikes. Again, another victory, and this is what I was talking about earlier with the certain points that give you bonuses to floors. But let's choose a rare pack. Restore friendly units to full health. That is always great. But I'm going to risk it and take this channel song. Channel song basically picks out of your deck any one creature card and improves it substantially. So I've already got that card, and Steelwork is really useful because resolve happens basically at the end of every turn. So if you put him far enough away from the bad guys, he will start building up more and more armor as the game progresses, which can take a little while when it comes to the final couple of rounds. This guy, Rage Slays, applies Rage 3. He could be useful, that might work, but I'm going to go with a Steelworker for this run. So yeah, these are major enhancements. So once you get this, the life of your pyre goes up, the damage your pyre does goes up, and you also get whichever benefit you choose. Draw another card each turn, really useful if you've got a large deck with a lot of cheap cards. This is more useful for the bigger decks, the cards with the decks with fewer cards but bigger monsters, and this is also useful if you've got a lot of different creatures in there and you want to get more out per floor. It's not a strategy you're going to go for with the Hellhound and the Awoken. It's useful for some of the other factions. We'll see if we open up any of those later. I'm just going to go with Fell's Remorse. Let's get another Ember out, so maybe we can summon that big guy card that we've got. Unstable Vortex allows you to remove cards, which is useful if you were thinking about trying a strategy and it didn't play out. There's nothing here that I particularly want to get rid of. Even the Train Stewards, because they've got that buff on them, are really useful right now. I would like to go there, but it's on that route. This gets me money, this gets me health, this allows me to duplicate a card. I am going to duplicate this guy now that I can play him out, and this allows me to upgrade my hero. As I said earlier, this is where this can actually get kind of interesting with the heroes, because now I can, rather than take Wrathful 2, I could take Brawler 1, which means he starts with 10 armor, he gains the multi-strike, but still retains the armor on Slaying and Rage 2 on Revenge. Making him a little bit tougher when he starts. He does more attacks, so he's more likely to get the Slayer ability off, and potentially against two people rather than just one person. Whereas this is just going to make it more impressive, but it also increases how much damage and health he's going to start with. I'm going to go for Raffle 2, simply to open it up. When you've played this a few times, it starts filling in this logbook. And this shows you what you've seen, and I've only seen Wrathful 2. I want to see all three of them before I give up on this run. So I'm just going to stick with focusing him down. And that happens after every major battle, apart from the last one, at which point you win the game. On to another fight. As you can tell, there's a lot of... The main focus in this is on the fighting. It's not on the in-between. It's not on the like thinking about the turns. It's a lot of high-paced, high-stakes stuff. Can bring him out, and now that I've got this Demon Fiend, I'm going to place him behind him because hopefully he'll start stacking damage a little bit. I don't know. Does he? How is this happening to both of them? Because only one of them has enough health for this. Oh, because he'll get struck twice, he'll end up with Rage, which means he'll make more damage, which means he'll kill that guy and then take out that guy. Great stuff. We got the Steelworker summoned on that level, which is okay. I'll prefer him on the top level to give him the most time to build up armor. But being there is fine, he'll build it up, and it was free, so can't complain too much. See, one of the reasons why I put him in front is because each time he gets hit, he'll get build up more and more rage, and because he's dealing more and more rage, he's going to be doing more and more damage each time. I can't see exactly how much damage he's going to be doing because that 35 is just his flat. It'll be 45. He'll get a hit another couple of times. It'll just start spiraling up. What do I have left? I got a freeze. Yeah, let's put this guy out and let's restore him up a little. Why not? There's no point in any of the other cards, so let's just skip that. But yeah, there's, with the Hellhound, it's all about hitting them harder than they'll hit you. This is kind of interesting, but I have a bad feeling that I won't have anywhere to summon it if it turns out to be the Demon Fiend. So I'm just going to play it out, cross my fingers, it's the Demon Fiend. He's become more powerful, but there's nowhere I can play him out because the floor capacities are all full. Maybe somebody will die. When the game forces things to happen, like this, where it's summoning, it will allow it to go over, but you then can't summon out until you've back into your original allotment. Let's restore this guy up because that's what's good for him. I can't fit him anywhere but the back row up here. And I have none, but that'll do damage. Yeah, it'll do damage to everybody. Woohoo! But yeah, that pumping up of damage because of all these rage that is stacking is really going to do him favors towards the later part of this. Already he's taking out this guy who's got 60 without really flinching. That is actually a reflection of this. 25 is his base, so 55 is the damage he's doing because of the rage. Still not quite up to 60, but he'll get damaged twice before that happens. I'm just going to enchant him with the steel and restore up this guy, because that's generally what you're supposed to do with those things. I also like in this, Banners of Ruin doesn't quite have it just yet, but it is still in early access, so I'm not being too critical of that. But this has what I like about these kind of games where you've got things to slowly unlock. Banners of Ruin is basically a bit of a free-for-all. It's truly as random. However it starts is however it's going to play out for you. It's not like you're going to be able to influence it too much with what you can unlock. Yes, there is some unlocks in it, but you get to pick and choose it, and there isn't much there at the moment. Restore this guy up a little bit, and Sting, because why not? It gets me another card next turn. And let's take these guys out. Oh, this is actually the boss. This is just going to go to the death. I did not realize that. He didn't look boss-like enough for my liking. So yay, I win. And again, as you saw, most of it was taking place on the bottom row. Very few people made it above that. Sacrifice name, gain to draw 1. Return a random consumed spell to your hand. There's only the one spell that I've got that can be consumed, and it's not really worth returning to my hand. And this game 4 is kind of useful. Applying quick is really useful, although now I've just found out that that's a consume, which might have been useful to bring back with the other guy, but that's choices for you. Master of Trinkets allows you to buy artifacts. I don't really have too much money at the moment, and is there any cards that I want to remove? Not especially. And that's always a bit random. This is going to restore that, which is already full. Magic isn't great. Cash is made to be spent. I'm going to go this way. I don't need to do any of these things, or some of these things, but trinkets are always nice. Enemies get -1, stings get magic power +20. That's not too bad. It makes this a very cheap high damage. When you play a consume card, deal 30 to the damage in front. None of them are really doing me much, but I'm going to take these two. A little less damage from the enemy and a lot more damage on that sting. Might turn the table somewhere along the line. And let's go to this cave. Let's see what terrible things await us. The historian makes his way towards the train in his unusual carriage. Hellborn, I am fortunate that how fortunate I am that our travels have finally crossed paths. I am recording the events of Armageddon for prosperity. Possibly futile, I know, but I shall make a fortune if you do somehow succeed. Would you characterize yourself as honest, aggressive, or stealthy? Again, this is perfect knowledge, so it will actually just tell you what you're going to get. Your power gets 1 damage for every 10 you have. Deal 2 damage to enemy units, slay, and get 50. That's really difficult to pull off. You just get rid of that and make money. There has been a couple of turns where I've not had too many cards to play out, so I could sacrifice one of those turns for making lots of money, I suppose. Because that one is all like, yeah, that's all great and well if you've got money, but I don't, and I'd rather just keep them away from the pyre, so honesty it is. Interesting indeed, and quite uncharacteristic of Hellborn, though by no means unwelcome. Perhaps those good intentions will carry us past these dark times. Here's something for your assistance. Best of luck to you in the battles ahead. Do like the art style in this. It's got a little bit of a Hellboy feel to it, but not too much that Monster Train got smacked around with copyright infringements. Let's just get on with this fight. See, it's only ever summoning out those guys to that level. I feel a little bit cheated. If it had summoned out, all 3 of these big guys, this guy, and this guy, it really might have made that middle layer certainly more different, to say the least. Let's play this guy out, and let's give him some armor. And let's take out the guy at the back. This is actually going to be painful. That basically means I cannot damage them until that is counted down. Hopefully that doesn't happen too many times on this layer, because otherwise he's not going to get many hits in. Right, let's bring up a big guy at the back and let's restore this guy's health. We're going to take out that collector. That's going to get some money. I wish there was more restores that I could cast out, but alas. See, the enemy also can have this ability when something dies around them, then they automatically get something. He got armor out of that. That's not pleasant, but it's not the end of the world. Because I can't take any of those guys out, I'm just going to restore the health of that guy to give him some more funds, and then murder everybody on that row. I have a bad feeling that I know where this is going once it gets to the end boss fight. Tends to be somebody who's got a lot of attacks and has it very a lot of stacks of that stealth, so you've just got to sit there and wait and hope that he doesn't kill everybody on your turn before they actually get to the nitty-gritty of killing each other. Yeah, that guy's going to punch that guy. He'll get more rage. He won't be able to take him out, but that guy at the back will. Let's restore. Let's give him some steel enhancer. And what's that go? What 3 are available? I think it's one train conductor, one train steward, an imp, or this other demon fiend. If it's the imp, it will be great. If it's not the imp, I don't actually think there's anywhere on the train that I can bring him out. So, imp! Yay, imp it is. I mean, that's going to give me, a lot of mana, but that's no big deal. I think now that I'm reviewing this, it's probably actually got a lot more to do with skill than I first realized. Everybody is dead. I'm just gonna give him the give him the quick ability, and then just get lots of money out of it. Cause why not? Would have been better if that card had come out when the imp was around. So yeah, this is the guy that I was talking about. He's got 8 stealth. So he's going to do a fair amount of damage before anybody else can even get a punch in on him. My only hope is to buff up these restores. Nope. So yeah, basically these two are going to die before we actually get to do anything. Whoop. Hopefully the other levels will be able to take care of this boss. Otherwise, it's going to go down to the pyre, and I think he should win. But the best thing here is because I got that big guy out of the back, this is delaying him and most of his stealth is going to be gone. All of it's gone. So now it's pretty much resolved into a fair fight. Let's burn him for his not being a very nice person, and let's take care of him. I say not a very nice person. This technically is the forces of heaven, which should in theory be nice people. But they are basically committing genocide, so it's a little bit 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. When it comes to, is this actually the good guys or not? I try not to question it too much. I don't want to get into the whole politics of, is this the good guy? Are they the bad guys? At the end of the day, it's a video game. Yes, it's got a tiny little bit of plot in there. I like the style, but I'm not going to get too hooked up on the actual wordings of the philosophies per se. Equal to the amount of armor they have. I could have a lot, I could have a little. Piercing, deal 5 damage, apply 20 armor. It's a little bit of a weird one because it'll actually be mainly used for the defensive, but the first thing it does is do 5 points of damage to them. Apply rage 4 and armor 5. I'll take that one, why not? Consume, draw 3 the next turn, restore 25 health, channel song. I'm going to skip that one. None of them are really doing me any favors right now. Where are we up to on this map? We're in 6, 7, 8, and 9 isn't really a thing. Is this a boss level? Yes, it's a boss level. You can tell there's a slight glow, golden edging to the boss fights. So, next level, Vortex Magic Artifact. Cave, Merchant of Steel, more money. I'm going to go to the Merchant of Steel. I've got some cards that I'd like upgrades to, and I've got lots of money to apply them. The large stone makes a creature slightly bigger, but gives a lot of buffs to it. I don't think I want to do that here. I suppose I could do it on this guy. Makes him a lot more robust. And he's mainly getting drawn in that middle level. If he's not, he'll be going on the top level. I appreciate that's making, probably going to actually end up upgrading the size of a train. Upgrade a unit with spikes for, might as well give it to the guy who specializes in spikes. And 25 more health. I'm just going to give it to the guy with the spikes, maybe. Shall I give it to the steel worker? Give it to the steel worker. What's the worst that could happen? I could re-roll this and get another 3 cards. Yeah, I got the money for it. Multi-strike is really nice. If you give it to one of these guys, all of a sudden that's doing 100. Upgrade a unit with Rage 7. Rage 7 counts down, so that's not great, but multi-strike with another 10 points of damage is great. And let's make this guy super aggressive when he comes out. Because no other reason than I have the money for it and the lols. Let's go back to the concealed caverns and see how the game goes this time. A penance yard comes into view, a truly terrible sight. Dead hellborn across the 9 rings of hell are strung up as atonement just for existing. At the base of these awful contraptions are some familiar blights, but peeking through you can see something of value underneath the rubble. Which pile will you inspect further? Though these are interesting, the blights are actually negative effects, but each one of these is coming with an artifact that will basically change the blight into something useful. So for this, you've got to spend 3 ember to purge the blight, but playing a blight card deals 100 damage to the enemy in front. So that's now actually turns these blights into a pay 3 ember to do 100 damage, which actually isn't too bad. Deadweight's unplayable and purgeable. When someone friendly units get +1 for every blight in your deck. That's not too bad because a lot of monsters are coming out. The deadweights aren't going to clutter up my deck too much. Broken shards. If it's still in my hand when it ends, then it will damage my pyre by 1 point of damage. But the artifact is, if I play one of these cards, it gets restored by 5 hit points. So hopefully that will balance out and not be too expensive. I don't like that one. Basically, it's tit for tat in terms of you're just spending ember to not damage your pyre, and if you do damage your pyre, then you're going to have to spend money to fix it. Seems a bit self-defeating. I'm not having too much trouble with enemies with a lot of health, so I'm probably going to skip that one and go for this. Just give me a little bit of extra damage. 3 for everybody who gets summoned, and it clutters up my deck, but if it becomes too big of an issue, I can always try and see about using a vortex to get rid of them. On to the boss fight. Hellblaster Guardians have Spell Shield 5. Fel empowers units with armor. This is Fel. They're going to give armor to whichever row they're on. And the Alabaster Guardians are these 3 wonderful little statues that are just going to stand there and get in my way. Oh wow, it just pulled out every majorly useful person and stuck them in the middle there. So going to start with my usual, this guy up front, this guy in the back, and call it done. That one's definitely going to go. That one's definitely going to go. That's probably going to still be there by the end of the game. But I'm not excessively concerned because I don't see Fel getting past and up to the top floor of this train. If they do, we might be in more trouble than I would have hoped. Let's have Do I really want to put... See, what else do I have? I don't really have that much else going for me, so I might as well actually get these guys out on the top rank. And put this welder at the back, give that guy some armor, and then restore this guy's hit points. Let's build that up a little. So yeah, okay, we'll probably end up getting rid of all the different levels of our Blaster Guardians. Just because I can. See, this is one of the people that I think I've tried to use tactics to take them out before the boss fight. And I think I got close one time, but I don't think I've ever actually succeeded it. I have no empty slots, so it is just do some damage. I don't really want to take this guy out because it's just going to help build up his rage, but he is looking a little beaten up. So let's heal him up a touch. Why is that now? I am... Oh! He got armor for each spell that I cast. Huh, that's not fair. That guy can go away. So it's one of the things where I probably should have paid slightly more attention to what was going on. I want to get rid of that guy, but I want that guy to be the one to do it. So yeah, let's enhance him up a little. Don't want to vent because that's going to muck up the numbers, maybe. No, it's not going to muck up the numbers too much. And that's it, I'm out of embers. I didn't actually realize these runs took this long. I was actually expecting this to be sort of like a quick, it's one of the things, it really does, it's a fast paced game to the point where I do actually get the feeling that the number of times that I have played this, it just goes past so quickly that I don't realize that was a mistake making him quick. Here, have some more armor. Nope, that didn't help. 72? There we go. That does help him. Yeah, it's one of them where it's like by making him quicker, he actually got to strike this guy before he got the additional rage, so he wouldn't be able to kill him because he needed the additional rage to win that fight. He's going to grant some more armor to these guys. There's nothing much that I'm excessively concerned about. So let's just grant some more spikes to that guy just in case it goes to that top level fight. Depending on how this goes, I'm probably going to play for about 2 hours. Just because I have to stop at some point, and if I'm not careful, I'll end up continuing on forever more. Just going to do a little bit of damage to that guy. That road's going to do some damage. Quite curiously, we're actually doing a lot of damage to that guy. Again, I don't think I'm going to finish him off before it gets to the boss run. No, here comes the boss run. Thought that might be the case, but I am not concerned with... Did I use my money? Did I use the money card already? I think there's some that I'm sure gets removed from your deck the moment you play them. Yeah, that one that gave me the money is gone. And I could have swore that it was only a consume. But I'm pretty sure the consumes stick around. Let's buff up this guy. What's the worst that could happen? And vent. Why not? We're going to take 31 damage, but he's going to be dead, so woohoo. Am I going to enhance? Oh, what am I going to enhance? Let's see what we get on this. Don't need another channel spawn. Gain 2 by that. Yeah, let's go for that one. And let's stick with draw a more fell remorse. We're at pretty much the stage where it's like the first couple of rounds is getting it sorted out, but after that everything pretty much takes care of itself. Do I want to duplicate any of my cards? No, because I've mainly got big monsters and most of the spells aren't very good. That's not going to be useful, but this Merchant of Steel might give me something nice. Upgrade a unit to give them quick. You can have quick. Upgrade a unit with more health. Sure, you can have more health. And you can have more health and damage. I didn't upgrade that second Demon Fiend because I wanted to see what came out in this lot, not what I was hoping. That's a terrible idea. So I'm just going to apply these to random people because why not? Right, upgrade the champion again, and again I could choose this. He's going to gain 25 armor on every slaying and gains 5 rage instead of the 3 rage every time he is hit. That means every time he gets hit he's doing 5 more damage, 10 more damage. So that's going to stack up nicely. Again, because the multi-strike would be nice, more chance of slaying earlier on. He's technically doing 50 points of damage, but his rage will build up more slowly. My main concern there is the armor won't build up quite as quick. Not that that's been too big of a trouble so far. First time I played this game, I do remember that it's all like failing a few times, even with the new cards. So I do think that there is a little to be said about knowing how the game works and what you're going to do with it to a certain degree. We got both these guys right down here. That is what I like to see. And he's got multi-strike. Yeah, let's sting. That takes care of him. They're all going to do lots of damage to him because when they die, they hurt for some reason. But his rage really has gone up. First round is over and he's got 29 rage already. Puff. Why did I go puff? Not quite sure. That guy will take care of that guy, and I'm going to start stacking that on him because I have a feeling that he's going to go through a lot of rage before this is even over, and I don't really want that. Not rage, a lot of health. Because yes, he's getting armor from slaying people from time to time, but every time one of these people is dying, he's taking damage, which is almost negating all the armor that he is gaining. He might actually be slowly losing. What did he start on? I can't remember what he started on. He started on no armor. So he's only managed to gain 15 in so few rounds. Ooh, that's interesting. And see, I'd like to be able to deal just enough damage so that I can take all 3 of these out. But both of these are going to take all of the cost away. So do I apply 10 rage and 10 armor to this guy? Or do I just make him stronger? Make him stronger, regenerate him a little, and burn those guys out. Still pumping up his damage. So he'll be able to get some armor, but not without taking some damage. There's a space for him. What's that one available? Oh, it's a trained steward. Yeah, that would be nice, but multi-strike rage and multi-strike. Oh, yeah, he's just got a lot of health. Oh, he's bigger as well. So let's play that out, get this guy, make him a lot better than he usually would, and play him there, because why not? At this stage, I'm not really overly concerned about the top level. I'm just padding it out should things start going wrong here on the bottom row. I'm slightly concerned that I've not managed to build up anything in terms of a decent armor rating for this guy. You know, he's slaying things, getting 25 armor, and then losing most of it because of people dying on him. But he is building up that rage nicely at 110. I'm going to now give him quick. I'm going to heal him up. There's no way I can summon that guy. Boss is going to come out this turn. And interestingly enough, every time this boss hits him, he'll actually be making him do more damage. He's doing 24 damage, and so this fight will be over in 2 rounds, I'd guess. Yeah, let's just fend. Why not? I actually just changed that number significantly higher, and I don't know why. I think that's one of the things about this, because it does all the math for you. You can be looking at it, it's like, interesting. Skip that, I don't really want any more imps. An imp run is something that you can do in this. I'd recommend that you wait until you've got most of the stuff unlocked, because some of the later imp cards are really useful. Consume. Again, nothing that I'm particularly interested in. Might as well just take the money. Don't want to fill my deck with too many cards that aren't going to be doing any favors for me. We're on to the final bit. So, don't have any damage, don't have a card I want to duplicate, and magic isn't really my thing, especially seeing as though, can I get rid of anything? That is not really useful to me. And I'm going to say that these torches aren't very useful to me. Just getting rid of those so that I've got more cards in there that I really want. Spells get an extra upgrade slot. That might have been nice if I'd have gone down the other route. I don't. Start. At the start of turn, add Sting to your hand. That could be useful and interesting. Let's leave and take a look at this place. Do I have anybody who still needs an upgrade? He still needs an upgrade. Not the ones that I want. Multi-strike, that is what I want. He is quick, he has got multi-strike. Okay, now I'm going to go back to here. And I'm going to take this simply because I have that and that, which increases the damage to them. And also stings cost nothing. So maybe this could make this a little bit interesting if I get a lot of stings in my deck. Especially seeing as though that consume is going to be a bit of a problem. Actually trying to bump up bump up my deck full of cards, spell cards, because the first spell card that I cast is always going to cost me in that it won't come back. I made these guys nearly identical. That guy's got quick, that guy's got slightly more damage. I'm going to go for the more damage. And I'm going to torch this guy at the back simply to use the card up. That is not looking pretty. I didn't manage to kill anybody and he got half the way through his health. Maybe I should have gone with a quick guy on the bottom row, but who knows. I've got a sting in there. That guy is going to get injured for some more. He's doing 71, that's 130. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. Let's make that guy quick. He doesn't take him out. He's going to do 63 multiplied by 22 by 2 is 126. If I do that, he's going to kill him. Then he's going to kill the guy at the back and finally get some armor into him. Let's put this guy up here and let's restore the health of that guy and let's torch this guy because why not do more damage to the fellow? Yeah, let's have you up there. It's not really going to make too much difference at this stage of the game. But at least he's out and there. Slightly concerned that this guy's got multi-strike 3. Or multi-strike 2, which means he strikes 3 times. But at the same token, it's not going to make too big of a difference. Okay, so I got a sting. If I sting that guy, if I sting that guy, then I sting that guy. He'll be able to take out that guy, he'll take out that guy will survive. That's to prevent doing damage. This is just going to make him slightly healthier. Slowly we will get there and hopefully it won't be sort of like this boss will come in and just absolutely wreck my hero because he doesn't have any armor. Here's the final boss of the game, so not too concerned. There is online leaderboards and the like for if you care about the general score of things. Let's get rid of those. Let's get this guy healed up a little bit more. Let's sting this guy, mainly so this guy takes a little more damage, and well, so let's vent, and he can take a lot more damage. Also, because this is doing a lot of the maths for me, it's not really giving me much to talk about, so I'm going to talk about something random now. When I started this stream up, I actually figured I'll do some more in-depth games, and as part of those in-depth games, I will play, those with a much more detailed plot and talk about the expanded universe that I'm aware of, depending on which game it is. There's 2 that spring to mind. There's Pathfinder Kingmaker and not Plains of Torment, Tides of Numenera. Both from role-playing settings that I'm reasonably familiar with. I'm not overly familiar with them, but at the same token, I'm familiar enough. Why did that just... I just did that on completely the wrong person, didn't I? I should be paying attention to what I'm doing. Oh, well. I just buffed up the enemy. For those wanting to know what I just did, didn't mean to, honest. But yeah, so they're going to be games where probably going to be, there's a plot, I'm going to read it. And hopefully people will enjoy listening to me playing a game of that magnitude. Burn that guy. Let's actually summon this guy up here. Just in case he does get that far and sting, because always. Oh, I didn't. Yeah, my pyre is going to take 1 point of damage. Whoopsie. So yeah, we're playing, not playing. I'm mixing up titles of everything now. Planesmaker, Tides of Numenera. Tides of Pathfinder. That'd be slightly funny. Pathfinder Kingmaker. I'm going to be playing it probably fairly slowly over the course of a few streams. And also, I'm probably not going to play it to death. I'm probably going to miss a hell of a lot of things. But it's one of them games where it's like, I get the feeling that, I've tried to sit down and play it, but after so long of playing it, I just get to the point where it's like, oh, I'm getting a little bored of this now. I've been playing it all day, or whatever the case. I'm just going to leave off for it for a short while, and then it turns out that I never get around to playing it again. Not because I don't want to, but because it's like, oh yeah, there was that game that I was playing. I mean, I could go back and play it some more, but I can't remember where I'm up to. And then when I do eventually get back around to playing it, it's like, what was I doing again? Why was I here? And why am I playing a cleric? I'd much prefer to be playing a wizard, a fighter, a rogue. And so there's a little bit of reluctance there to pick up a game again. So I started again. And when I started again, yay, I won. I'm sort of like, okay, now I've got to go through all of this. I go through the same hoops that I've always gone through. The main reason why I'm going to be starting with Pathfinder Kingsmaker is that they've come out with the definitive edition on consoles. That probably doesn't mean much since this is on a PC and I'm a PC gamer. But at the same token, they've introduced that it's got a turn-based element to it. It used to be kind of turn-based, but real-time. Meaning what would happen is it would do the whole role-playing game thing of roll for initiative, and you could have it auto pause, and everybody would act independently. But it's, in one of the early fights that you're in, you've got 6 people in your party, and there's 8 people that you need to dispose of, and there's so much going on. Even if you're constantly pausing and unpausing it, it's very difficult to get that naturally thinking element that I find is part of the tactics of role-playing games. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of playing a role-playing game tactically. Um, you see it in some cases where it's like they spend ages discussing, oh, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that. Okay, yeah, that's not a tactically sound idea. You've got a much higher chance of succeeding if you just do this instead. Yeah, screw that, just do something fun. But at the same token, there is the fact that it is a real-time game just made it very punishing for me, I found, because I couldn't keep track of all these little things that were going on and trying to get them to play out, and also a little bit knowing the rules of Pathfinder. There's one rule that I'm not entirely sure if they did actually implement in the real-time strategy game, which is called the 5-foot step. When you've got a guy in melee combat who really doesn't want to be in melee, like, let's say a surprise happens and your wizard ends up right at the front next to the guy who's going to stab him in the face. in the official Pathfinder rules, you've got a 5-foot step, which allows you to move 5 foot away from the guy. And depending on initiatives, you might actually be able to slot your tank, be it fighter, paladin, maybe a druid. I'm not sure about Pathfinder druids, right in there and tank the guy, and then you're allowed to move your wizard off to do whatever he needs to. It's very difficult to do that when it's all happening in real time. There's other things sort of like taking a moment and thinking, who needs healing? Do I need to heal that guy? Is it worth healing that guy? Because you might only have one healing spell at your disposal, and it's a really powerful one, but the guy's looking barely scratched. Is it really worth healing the guy when he's barely scratched? Can he survive another round? A lot of questions like that you can't answer quickly enough without continually pausing it and unpausing it and pausing it and unpausing it, and it just doesn't feel natural to me to be pausing and unpausing in a real-time strategy game. Somebody released a mod on the Steam Workshop which introduced turn-based, and it was like, okay, that's cool. I might give that another go at some point. And then Owlcat, the developers and publishers of Pathfinder Kingmaker, announced that they were going to do a bit of a final patch and introduce the turn-based. And if you actually go to Paizo and their Twitch stream, it actually their playthrough is actually using this player-made mod for the turn-based stuff. So it's like, yeah, there's definitely interest there. So they brought it in their definitive edition on the consoles and as a patch on the PC games. The consoles only differ. The definitive edition is basically the game up to its latest patches with all of the DLC. I own the game. I own all of the DLC. I think I even own some of the supported DLC. I'm not sure if that's still available anymore. Because I got it when it was kickstarted, and then they finally patched it up to introduce this turn-based mode. I've been messing around with it, just trying to get used to how the UI works. I didn't want to play it too much before streaming it, because I thought, yes, I'll do a stream and I'll play for that. But then it was like, they've introduced this and I have no idea how it's all going to work. So yeah, I've been messing around with it and it's much better. I found I can think about things a little bit more. I've actually been able to turn up the difficulty to a respectable setting. I've managed to put it on normal and not for everybody to die instantly I step outside of the inn. Which it was happening a little bit to me when I was playing it in real time. Or it would be a little bit hit and miss. And I don't like the whole save, reload that you get in some games. I don't mind it when it's part of the game and they're very good at making it quick. If you've ever played Divinity Original Sin, a lot of that game is save it before anything bad happens. Bad things happen, reload it, try again now that you know what's going to be happening. But I don't like that for all games, especially if they've not optimized the save and reload, which they haven't, I don't think, in Pathfinder Kingmaker. You know, it takes a little while to save and it takes a little while longer to load. It's not fun having to continually reload just because the game was too difficult in real time. So I knocked down the difficulty of that meant a lot of the fights were just trivial. It's not that it wasn't interesting. There is a plot. It was interesting. It wasn't feeling right for me. Now that they've introduced a turn-based, now that I'm going to be streaming it, I hope to have the persistence to really get through most of the plot. And once that plot is done for Pathfinder Kingmaker, I'm going to switch it over to a different game of a similar genre. Either what I've mentioned, Torment Plains of Numenera, or Tides of Numenera, or Pillars of Eternity, the first one. and then maybe the second one, who knows? I might have gotten bored and given up on this whole streaming lark by then. Or I might just continue streaming a random selection of games. I actually had a friend of mine. She's going to be doing some of the artwork, so keep an eye out for when the artwork arrives. Who said, have you thought about streaming RimWorld? And it's like, I hadn't. It could be interesting. That's a roguelike game. It's a bit strategy. It's a bit punishing. I've literally had it where it's like I've started up a game, a random event has happened, my colony has been wiped out to one person who is now limping around and is slowly bleeding out. It's very random like that. So I might go and do a RimWorld, but that's probably going to be a little bit more like, I fancy playing a little bit of RimWorld. I'm going to stream it. But at the same token, it's not something that I'm going to dedicate to making a lot of episodes in quick consecutively. So yeah. Woo! I won the game, and I'll stop talking now and go back to gaming. So you're not all just staring at the screen, wondering, has my mouse suddenly stopped working? When you win, you unlock the covents. The covent ranks increase the difficulty, but also increase the reward a little bit. You get more experience, a little bit more score, and to a certain degree, it's just like it's making the game slightly more difficult. Each time you finish a game, you get a little bit of the EXP, even if you don't actually finish the run. I love RimWorld. The multiplayer mod is pretty cool on the Steam Workshop. I didn't know there was a multiplayer mod for it. Murder Source. I don't know myself. RimWorld is one of them games that I tend to play when there's nobody else around, and I just like making up stories for all my little people. And I'm not sure how the multiplayer would actually go. Are you all in the same camp? Are you all in different camps? It seems to be very much a game where you saw, like you said, it doing its thing, and you just sit there watching people mill around for a bit. Or at least that's what I do. I'm not a very micro manager of the game. So yeah, when you rank up, it unlocks new cards, which you'll get throughout the course of a run, pretty much like any other roguelike, and also an artifact that you may pick up. Don't get your hopes up too much about seeing them straight away. You won't always see them. This is, again, one of the reasons why I say wait until you've got a little bit more unlocks. Impressive. Sacrifice an imp, and they blow up and do 50 damage to the enemy in the front. Really useful if you've got a lot of imps. Not so useful if you've got one imp and he is your back marker for saving the train. And that's a really nice one if you've got a lot of expensive or X spells, where it's like, how much ember can you pump into this? Because you can save it between turns. You also get experience for your allied faction, spreading spores. That can be useful if you're going for that kind of regen and spikes, but it can also very quickly fill up your deck with a lot of these cards. And Nalrult, again, they're very thematic. Both of those have just basically been something to do with spikes, which is what the Awoken can be about. Grant +1 stack spikes every time that it's applied. You don't get as much reputation for your allied faction. And you've got this victory progress, win streaks. This is the cards that will unlock. They will eventually go golden in color once you've maxed out your level, and that is just to get a fancier frame. The frame is currently like that. The fancy frames look like that. You can unlock other ones if you complete the ability there, or you can even disable them if you don't want the whole mix and match. It tells you which ones you've won and which rank of the convent that you've got up to. This is your convent rank here. Wins are across there. You've got your 3 other factions and what it's going to take to unlock them. I'm halfway there with the Stygian. Umbra is miles behind, and Melting Remnant is going to take at least 9 more runs. Clanless cards, they're I can't remember which ones are the clanless. The clanless are, oh yeah, the ones that I found are them special points, the blights, the steward, the self-mutilation, which was given to me by one of the angels. This just shows you which upgrades you've managed to do. It's just more just generally there telling you things and what you've got, fun things to unlock. It's a bit achievement based, but at least it's, there's a lot here. There's a lot here compared to Banner of Ruin. I know that I keep saying Banner of Ruin isn't quite there yet, and I do really mean it. I do enjoy the game. It's just if they do this kind of stuff with the Banner of Ruin, or something like this with Banner of Ruin, it could really develop into a great game. At the moment, it's not quite there, and I'm not disappointed. I'm just hopeful that they do get there. I'm just telling you in comparison what I like about Monster Train is that there's, essentially this whole thing is a big long list of things that you've still yet to actually do. It also tells you personal records. I don't think it'll actually give you a list of all the things that it's got recorded against you, but more often than not, you'll break a new record with each run, even if it's just something weird and or quirky. I've got 20 minutes to go before I end this. I'm going to switch this around, probably finish this off another day. I'm going to play the Awoken and have the Allied be the Hellborn this time. That's what that button is. Okay, yeah, so now I've got the Covenant. Starting enemies are stronger. Additional random cards in your starting deck. It's got a win streak. It tells you whether you've won with the different factions or not, and where you've got up to. I'm going to be turning that off for the moment, simply because I'm lazy and want an easier time of this. I need to get to rank 25 to unlock that feature, whatever it is, don't know. But this is one of the things that with Monster Train, I like that they're doing. I'm going to see if I can, yeah. Even though this was released some time ago, it was, I can actually maybe, yeah, I can tab out of this without you guys seeing my desktop. When was it roughly released? It was released in May of this year. So not too long ago, about 3, maybe 4 months ago. But they've done the Wild Mutations update to it. They've announced that they're doing the Friends and Foe update to it. I don't know what the Friends and Foe is about, because I don't like spoiling things for myself. I like to wait until it's out and then it's a surprise for me. But it's May. The Wild Mutations has been a free update. The Friends and Foe looks to be a free update, and the mutations basically allow you to choose from a few things here. If it's got a red background, it's bad for you. If it's got a green background, it's great for you. If it's purple and blue, it's a little bit random. And you can select 3 of these and or up to 3 of them. You don't even have to choose all 3 of them. You can click on randomize and see what you get. And that basically will change some element of the run. It gives it a little bit more replayability if you've finished everything. If you want to make it slightly easier on yourself for a particular run, it's like, oh, I want an easy run, so I'm just going to make everything cheaper. Spell, I'm going to get more mana. I'm going to spend less mana per card, and merchants will also allow me to duplicate cards if I find something really nice. Great stuff. Makes it easier. You can run. It doesn't increase your progress. It's just there for a laugh. Or you can make it more difficult for yourself if you've unlocked everything and really fancy a challenge. The friends and foe stuff, like I say, don't know, but this has all been free updates. This hasn't been hidden behind DLCs. It's not been sort of like, oh, you need to achieve so much before you can open it. It's just like, here's some new stuff, go play. And I really like it when a developer slash publisher doesn't abandon the game or put it all behind paywalls. I don't mind in some regards the DLCs. I know that a lot of people out there are so like, oh, this is bullshit. This part of the game should have been just free with the base game. And it's like, should it really have been free with the base game? I mean, if you look at the base game, it's a very compelling story game. It's very expansive. This little bit that they've tacked on at the end and called it a DLC is what was in the good old days an add-on disc or an expansion pack, or in some cases it would have just been a very rushed out of the door 2, Monster Train 2, for example, where it's like, this is pretty much exactly the same game. They've added some bits and dared to call it a sequel. So no, I like DLCs because it allows developers to add little bits to it as they think, oh, wouldn't this be cool? Oh, it's actually more popular than we thought it was going to be. Let's take some of that money that we made out of profit and make something more of it to give people what they want. Yes, I really do love it when they give it away for free. I don't blame them, however, when they charge for DLCs. And yes, there are exceptions to the rule. I don't like a lot of the DLCs that are just fluff nonsense, over expensive, and mainly anything by EA. That's not to say that I don't play EA games. Just because I don't like them does not mean that I'm not addicted to the sins at times. Don't judge me. So yeah, let's start this new run. Now that I've finally stopped ranting about DLCs. Ooh, new boss. SAP 2 decreases 1 every turn. Decreases it by 2. Friendly units enter with SAP 3. That could be difficult if we end up with the weaker army by the end of it. I don't think it's going to be too big of a challenge. Depends on which options I get here. So yeah, again, new hero, new things. Every time I get hit, I get to draw another card. My main benefit is I have a little bit more health. Or I get spikes 10 and I have 30 health. I'm gonna go with the spikes because that's one that I like in this. Rage does not decay for friendly units or things get plus 20 magic power. If this had been the Hell Horned, then that rage would have been really useful in the last run that I had. I'm going to go with the Sting and see what we end up with. Could be a bad choice, might be a good choice, who knows. Let's see how it goes. Again, not turning on that because I want a slightly easier time. Yes, I'm lazy, get over it. Play this guy out. They'll hit me, take 10 points of damage, and deal 2 points of damage. I'm going to put that guy there. It's not going to quite kill them off, but hopefully I'll be able to summon out more people to finish them off before they get to the top rank. No, I won't. So let's kill you off. Let's kill you off. I've got just enough to be able to do that. Hopefully the next time round I'll get 2 conductors. I should do. I don't have that many cards in my deck. Yeah, 2 conductors. 1, 2. That'll kill you off. Let's put 1 down there and go. A little bit pointless, but there's not much more I could have done. It's very important I kill this guy off. And let's revive you a little bit. And go. For the winged. I'm actually going to speed this run up slightly. It did advise me in the last time, but it's all like it gives me a little bit of extra time to talk about things. Yay, money. Sharpen and apply spikes, not bad. Regen. Restores 2 health to all friendly units and deals 2 damage to all enemy units. That's not bad for 1. I'm gonna go with the spikes. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the sharpen. And for this, I am going to take the money instead. I don't want to pollute my deck too much with the Hellhorn cards. Not with the Awoken. And this, which did I take? I took the Sharpen. Rejuvenate, more mana, more. Going to take the spikes. Why not? Upgrade unit with spikes. Don't mind if I do. Deals a little more damage, or shall I make them quick? Quick doesn't really help me too much, so I'm going to take the more damage and leave it there. Moving on, next fight. Disciple conduits. Oh, these are the guys. Are these the guys who explode occasionally? Oh, they've got haste at the back. That's not pretty. Let's put you there. Let's start restoring you. So your spikes start going up. Let's put you there, and you've got a fair amount of damage done to you. I have a bad feeling that this is gonna sting a lot. Because can I get enough regen? I'm gonna put you in front. Right, sharpen, deal some damage, restore. We're not going to take him out, but we're going to get very close. Out of 73. He's got 17 hit points left. Let's bump this guy up with the restore, get him some more spike, and off he goes. Sayonara. What do we get? What do we get? I picked up that. Deal free, an answer. Ooh, these are all 0 cost cards. Let's save a sting because I've got that artifact. I'm going to take that. No, that I said I didn't want to pollute my deck too much with a Hellhound. But at the end of the day, having a card that costs nothing. Let's take another Awoken unit. There are some interesting ones out there. Just not today, it would seem. Again, it's one of them where it's like, because I restarted my data, I don't know which ones I still need to unlock, or which ones I figured are just part of the game. A fissure in the ice forces the bone shaker to stop. You've seen cracks like this before, often allowing you to multiply your forces through some ancient magic, but this one is different. Unstable. Throwing something into this fissure could have an unusual side effect, while just absorbing the energy from afar could have a more expected effect. And copy a card 5 times. Is there a card that I want to copy 5 times? I do. I want to copy this sting 5 times. Did it do anything weird? I don't think it did. It could be later that it gets weird. Who knows? Your tribute sinks into the fissure, followed by a bright flash of light. Then nothing. The fissure closes. All that's left is several copies of what you tossed in. Unstable, but strong. This is weird. It's not actually telling me why they're unstable, and this game doesn't particularly keep secrets, so I'm guessing that there's nothing unstable about them. There's just 5 of them, but we'll see. On to the first boss fight, and this is where I realised that having all them stings in there is going to be really useful for burning through these things, because if they come out too frequently, that is going to sting a lot. But the stings do damage to the first guy, not the last guy. I am going to... What am I going to do? Because if I play these guys out, they're just... Sorry about that. Sneeze for a moment. If I play either of these guys out, they're just going to get absolutely butchered. I'm going to do the weird thing of defending the top row. Because why not? Let's play a sting. It's not going to do much for me, but it will do things for the next turn. Because the draw pile is now 6 rather than 5. I was hoping for a sting. That is not pleasant. Let's give you some armor. Let's regen you up a little bit. This guy is going to go down here. He's going to sit there and be a bit of a shield. Let's see how it goes. I don't think this is going to work out for me. He's only going to do 2 points of damage. If I enhance him, he should kill him. But at the same token, there's not enough. Let's play that out. Why not? Enhance him with that. He'll kill him off. They're all going to die off because they'll all attack and take 10 points of damage, and it's over. Slightly concerned that there's a lot of this going on where the bomb is in a bit of a tricky position. Let's take out you, let's take out you, let's heal you up. Does that save you? No, it doesn't. Kill you off. That saved you, there we go. Hoping he doesn't die before the end, but wouldn't surprise me if he does. Okay, now I can sting. Now I can regen and regen. And let's take out you to get rid of your haste. I don't know what it does, but I don't like it. Says you're going to do 2 points. I'm just going to take you out. And finally you take that, and now I'm up to draw 8. Final wave. Let's sting, sting, sting. Let's sharpen, because that gives me a lot. Let's add that in And we're going to do 73 out of his 97 health. Not surprising that he died in the end. If I get a sting, I will probably get a sting. I'm just going to take him out. And there we go. Okay, that didn't quite go according to plan. Let's play that game. Sweep is really nice if you can buff them up. The Hermit Husk does not have a buff on Slay or anything. Sweep basically allows you to strike all enemies with each attack. But I did draw that other card. And I'm probably going to go with the Ember again. It's a classic choice. I like it. It's not overly complex. Okay, this has been about 2 hours now, and so I'm just going to get up to the next fight, but I'm going to stop the run here once I've made my decision. If I don't want to hellborn units. I don't really need the vortex. Duplicating a card I don't really need. I don't really need this, but money is always nice, and let's see what we get here. Holdover, when played, this card is placed on top of the draw pile next turn. Is there something that I don't actually know how frequently this does it? Because does it just keep doing it every single time that you play it? Let's find out. Well, let's find out next time. It's not much of a cliffhanger, but it's a cliffhanger. We'll find out what that card now does next stream. Or maybe not next stream. Depends what I play next. Again, I'm going to specialize. I'm going to go with the strikes. Gives me more health. And yeah, that is it. I'm going to stop the stream here. So let's take you back to the main menu so you can look at this wonderful burning train again. Other things include these challenges. Hell Rush is a multiplayer. Everything, I believe, is unlocked. I'm not sure. All functions and contents are available. You don't earn an XP, you don't gain mastery, but you do get to play with other people. And the daily challenge is just one of them things where you get to play the same challenge, but against other people around the world, see out who comes better. And community challenges, once you complete a run, it actually gives you, if you go to the summary, so that was everything before I reset. Generate a challenge and copy the deep link. The deep link proves that you managed to do it. The generate challenge, you can actually pass that code or that save. I'm not sure what it does. What does it do? Generate, yes, sure, why not? Uploading, loading custom challenge. But basically it allows you to challenge other people that you know to the same situation. So it's taking the rogue out of roguelike. And, you know, everybody's got to start with the Hellhorn, the Awoken. I do believe that basically the whole thing is exactly the same as your run. And you get to see who did better. It also might be an interesting way of, if you fail a run, just keep replaying it and replaying it until you actually manage to beat it. But for the most part, that's mainly if you got friends. And if you look at this list, I have no friends. I do have friends, they just don't play this game. So yeah, that might be where you can actually challenge different people around the community. And that is just about it. They've got patch notes, they've got a Discord. Go check them out if you would like to. And I do believe that's going to be the end of it. I think I'm going to be streaming again some tomorrow. Don't hold me to that. But I think I might also be starting the actual main thing that I wanted to do, which is Pathfinder Kingmaker. I'm still yet to finalize the details. I think I might be playing a rogue. I'm not sure. As always, this will also be a bit of a sort of like me talking random stuff and making decisions and why I'm making the decisions. So I'm not going to skip character creation. You're all just going to have to sit here and watch me do character creation. But I'll probably also, when that video goes up to YouTube, I have a YouTube, by the way. Nobody knows, or not many people know. But if you actually search for Kyron Rustmore on YouTube, you should find my channel, which is just basically me taking these videos from Twitch and uploading them there before Twitch decides to delete them, because I'm not important enough yet for them to keep them around for a while. So yeah, I might actually split that video into two so that you don't have to sit through that and you can catch it on YouTube. If you're not all that interested in character generation. If there is anybody around, I might even let them make a couple of decisions for my character, however good or terrible they might be. So that could be interesting. Might actually let anybody who's around choose my alignment and see if that's how I want to play the game. Maybe. Depends on how I feel tomorrow. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. Hope you have a pleasant evening, and I'll see you again. I did mean to make a screen so that I can actually close off the channel, but I forgot to make one, so I'm just going to click the stop streaming button in OBS. Taddy bye!